So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast, proudly sponsored by John Fowler's Solicitors. Big up Mark Kennedy as ever for his support on the pod. We've got another jam-packed show for you. I'm joined as ever by my co-host and Town Women skipper Blue Wilson, and we are joined by a special guest, 2-goal scorer Lucy O'Brien, to discuss all things Ipswich Town Women. Blue, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. How's things?
All good, thank you, Ross. Currently on a study course at the minute for my accountancy qualification. So it's been a long day, but I'm glad to be back on the pod. Managed to fit in I'm a Celeb last night. It was actually the only episode that I watched the whole series, but I just knew that Jill Scott was going to bring it home, so I had to watch it. But yeah, big up Jill Scott. How's your week been?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good. A lot of games to get through. Of course, we had the double header on the weekend. The men and the women's team both playing on Sunday. The women kicked it off with a win. And I thought it was going to match. The scoreline was going to match. Both teams winning 3-0, but then the men scored the fourth. But yeah, you can't complain with that because they're both into the hat for the third round. And of course, we had the draw for the both teams. But we'll get onto that later. Let's bring in our special guest, Lucy O'Brien. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I've had a good week.
That's good. Yeah, very good week indeed, Blue, because you scored 2 goals on the weekend. We'll have a little catch-up, Lucy, because you've had probably not the start of the season you wanted. You've been on the sidelines, but you've made your return the last few weeks. Let's talk about the injury quickly. How has that been? And just, give us a little catch-up.
Yeah, so it carried over from last season. And then in pre-season, it kind of flared up again. And, I needed to get it sorted because it had kind of been quite a long thing. So, I unfortunately had to miss a few months. It was a tear in my meniscus. So I think I rested for about 2 months, did nothing. And then it was kind of just over a month building it back up, getting back on the pitch, non-contact, then contact, and then returning to play. But yeah, it's feeling good now, which is the main thing.
And I was asking in the green room, this is your first ever sort of long-term injury, your big injury. What was that like, the rehab and everything like that, and just knowing you can't be playing football?
Yeah, it wasn't great, to be honest. I think the biggest injury I'd had prior was a rolled ankle. So yeah, it wasn't enjoyable, but I think it was made a lot easier by the fact, as disappointing as it was for the team, there was quite a few of us in rehab at the same time. I think kind of at the beginning of the season, it was just me and Sarah in the gym, and then kind of a few weeks in, there was 6, 7, 8 of us in there all together. So although it wasn't great for the team, it did certainly help the rehab, and kind of we were all able to support each other, and it made it easier.
Yeah, I was going to say, Blue, there was one stage, there was a lot of people in the treatment room, and I'm sure Joe was like scratching his head like, what am I going to do? I've got all these players, and definitely in that position. What was Lucy like in the treatment room and doing rehab?
Yeah, although it was quite nice to have company, it wasn't the greatest because obviously it meant those players couldn't be out on the pitch. But yeah, Lucy quiet, gets her stuff done. The occasional injury sadness, which is to be expected. But yeah, I'm so glad to see you back on the pitch, especially after a knee injury. I think I've got slight favouritism for players who overcome knee injuries and get back playing well as well. Yeah,
indeed, Lucy. I want to quickly sort of rewind back to the Plymouth game. Once again, you played, got an assist. What was that like playing at home park again and just being part of that big win?
It was a bit of a different experience because last season when I played there, I started the game and I didn't really know what to expect. And then this time, obviously, coming back from injury, very competitive squad at the moment. It was such great squad depth. So I was on the bench, but I was really excited for it. I was looking forward to it. A nice pitch. It was going to be a good game. Quite a lot of fans as well. I think there was over 2,000. So it was a great occasion. And yeah, I was looking forward to kind of coming off the bench and trying to make an impact. And yeah, I was able to do that, which I was really pleased with.
Yeah, Blue. Lucy stepped up and took a penalty last year, so that was a big thing. Of course, you're a year older now, Lucy, but that was a big thing, Blue, at the time, wasn't it? Lucy O'Brien stepping up. Of course, Paige Peake. I don't know if she was still on the pitch at the time or
she was, but I think she gave it to you, didn't she, Lucy?
I asked because I won both penalties, and then obviously we were 4-0 up, and I was like, I really want a goal today, so I just asked Paige, and she was nice enough to let me have it.
Yeah, it's always a thing. If you win a penalty or you get fouled, like when is it the right opportunity to go, can I take one? Or even if you're not the set taker, it's, it's a weird one, really. I always see that, like a player, and even if they're on a hat-trick, say if they score 2 goals in a game, so say, Lucy, you score 2 already and you did get fouled. I know you are the penalty taker anyway, but if and someone just who's normally the penalty taker, they stepped up and took it out. I don't know, what is the situation there? Do you just, whoever's just confident at the time?
I think for me, it kind of depends on the game situation. I think obviously the managers have their chosen taker because they have trust in them, and that taker's the taker for a reason. But I think, like with Plymouth last year, if we're kind of 4-0 up, why not give someone else a chance?
You've seen it in the WSL this season. I think West Ham earlier on. Not West Ham. What am I talking about? Aston Villa, playing the same colours. Aston Villa earlier on in the season. So Rach Daly is their penalty taker, and Alicia Lehman stepped up and missed the pen. And Carla Humphrey is fuming. I don't know whether it should be a rule in football, whether if you win the pen, you have to take it. That would be an interesting rule, I think.
It would indeed.
That would be add a bit of spice. I'm not sure what you do for handballs and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind a bit of that.
I think, of course, most of the time it is a forward or a winger who gets taken down, and you think you should confidently be happy with them taking it. But if, defender, some defenders, that they can whack it in, can't they? Sometimes I've seen some defenders, definitely in training, just well it in. I can Lisa Egan, I'm confident for her just to well it in. She'll go straight down the middle, hope for the best, boom. But yeah, normally it is like an attacking midfielder or a striker who takes the pens. But yeah, I think that's just, as you said, Lucy, the situation and also just what the manager's choice, pretty much. And of course, we'll get on to your penalty shortly. But Blue, into that for the third round, beating London Seaward 3-0. Overall thoughts before we get into the big talking points?
Yeah, I think it's a game we dominated, but expected to dominate it. I think London Seaward never gave up, to be fair to them. They really gave us a game until the final minute, which I think we appreciated, because it's all very well coming up against teams which are lower than you, but they give up or they sit in. But London Seaward sort of gave it a go, which was good, and meant that towards the end of the game we could still try and implement strategies Joe had worked on the training pitch. So I think it was a good game. I'd like to have seen more goals, but we're through to the next round, and that's the most important thing.
Definitely. And Lucy, you had the pleasure of warming up outside the grounds. What is that like, as always?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I think the first time I stepped on the pitch yesterday was as we were walking out, as a team walking out ready to play the game, which, it's a bit strange because obviously it's quite nice to feel kind of what the surface is like and get used to kind of how it's going to be in the game. But warming up outside, bobbly, not very nice. But if it helps preserve the pitch, then it's worth it. Yeah,
definitely. I think Blue were just pretty happy because we knew what the forecast was going to be. A lot of rain in the morning. And of course, luckily there's been some money put into the Felixstowe pitch, some drainage. And we got the nice little tweet, a nice little picture from Felixstowe saying, game on. And I'm sure everyone was relieved. And fair play. The pitch looked okay.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of had a walk on whilst the players were warming up. And I don't know what technique it's used to drain the pitch, but just stabbing lots of holes. I mean, it would have taken someone a long time to do that. So yeah, fair play to Felixstowe. The game was on. I thought the pitch was actually pretty good. The ball rolled nicely. We were able to bop it about. So yeah, I don't mind it. A few slide tackles coming in. Love it.
Yes. A lot of shorts, just everyone. I'm loose. I don't know if you can remember like how dirty you were, but I'm sure there's just a lot of mud. I don't envy whoever's got to wash those kits because I'm sure that they're good. At least 2-3 washes probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Lucy, let's talk about the opening start then. A very fast start from us, some chances, and then penalty. Anna gets fouled in the box. You step up. What are you thinking when you're taking that penalty? You're looking in the London Seaward keeper's eyes, giving her their eyes and going, I'm going to go there, but you're not going to go there, you're going to go there.
No, you know what? I very much focus on myself. I think it's kind of just try and not let them get in our heads. I think it's probably the biggest attempts from another team I've had in terms of trying to put me off. I've never really had it before, but as the referee was kind of blowing the whistle, their players were like, you're going to miss, she's going to go wide. Oh, don't worry, keeper, it's going wide. And I was standing there like, I've never had that before. So it was quite an experience. But yeah, I just focused on myself. I don't even look at the keeper. I have one look at the goal and that's it. And then, yeah, eyes on the ball, deep breaths, and then run up and strike it cleanly.
Yeah, Blue was good pen, wasn't it?
Very good pen, never in doubt. I said it on the bench. I was like, oh, as soon as Anna went down, I was like, Lucy O'Brien, please. And then up you sort of walked. But yeah, never in doubt, calm. And to be fair, the keeper, although she was tiny, she was decent.
Yeah, good.
I was like, oh, Lucy, just put this in the top half of the goal. It was in. But she was very good. So yeah, fair play.
Yeah, because after that, she made some really good saves. You know, Tash had a few chances. So Pescott, we'll get onto her in a minute, but she had a few chances. She had a shot as well. But yeah, fair play to their keeper. Really did keep out, and it kept the scoreline down to 1-0 in the first half. But let's actually, as we've mentioned, so Pescott, her first start. I'm sure that was great to see. Quickly, Lucy, what was that like playing with Sophie again in the first half?
Yeah, I love playing with Sophie. I think she's such a talented player. And I was playing on the same side of her, and kind of whenever I got on the ball, I'd look up and she'd be in a pocket or in a great bit of space or looking to make a run. And especially in the position I was playing, to have that option every time was really, really great. And yeah, it's just great to see her back on the pitch. Such a great talent.
Yeah, I'm sure. For me, as a photographer, it was great to just capture some pictures of her running down that wing on the ball once again, which is good to see. And Blue, I saw you at half time. You walked with Sophie and Pescott off the pitch. Can you remember what was sort of said, or is it just for you, in house for you guys, or do you want to just share just little bits?
We were just chatting about the game, how it was going, her thoughts. I think sometimes players just need to, especially after the first half, you can tell which players who just need to offload their thoughts and get others' opinions who aren't on the pitch, because you get a different view and there's less emotion. So yeah, we were just having a chat about the game and how she thought it was going, how she was feeling. And yeah, I think sometimes that's all players need. I don't know whether you find that, Lucy, at halftime you just feel like you need to offload to someone, get their opinion, and sometimes not even their opinion, just to express emotion. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're playing, it's so easy to get caught up in the emotions. And I think to have that step back, to be able to talk about someone who's not so emotionally invested in the game and to kind of get their outside perspective, it can really help kind of see the bigger picture. Because, on Sunday we were 1-0 up at half time, we were controlling the game. But I think because we hadn't capitalised on the chances we'd created, I think there was a bit of kind of emotion coming into the game. So to kind of get that perspective and just think, we need to relax. We're winning 1-0. We're controlling this game. I think, yeah, that can be really important.
Yeah, I will admit, I was like, how are we not 3 or 4, 5-0 up? But as we said, fair play to London Seaward's keeper, because she made some really good saves. But we did break their defence. That's not the word, is it? I'm going to go with it though, Blue and Lucy. I'm going with it. But Lucy, second goal of the afternoon, and good goal. Good goal. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so I'd moved up to a slightly more attacking position because Bonnie had come on. I think I'd only been playing there a minute or two, and the ball broke loose in midfield. I think it was a turnover of possession, or they'd just intercepted it and then it broke to Tash. So kind of the game was in transition, and I had a bit of space, so I shouted for the ball and Tash played it to me, and I was kind of on the edge of the box. And I remember in the first half I'd managed to get on the edge of the box and I tried to beat the player, but she kind of got a toe to it, and I hadn't got past her. So this time I had a bit of space, and she wasn't closing me down. And I think I just had eyes for goal because I was on the edge of the box. And I've watched it back since, and Summer's actually made a great run. So I think if it hadn't gone in, Summer might have been kind of a bit annoyed as to why I didn't play her in. But yeah, fortunately enough, I was able to put it in the bottom corner.
Clean strike as well. Not a really clean strike.
It's quite satisfying.
Great goal. Yeah, it is.
Someone will get a chance at some stage. You'll score our first goal at some stage, but just not at that moment. But yeah, really good goal, Lucy. And
Thank you.
Blue, EK made it 3-0. Our first goal of the season. I was surprised about that, actually, seeing that stat. I don't know why, because she has scored a lot of goals in her career at this date, but that was the first goal of the season, and another good little finish.
Yeah, I'm going to call a small skip because the armband doesn't fit. But yeah, no, it's a really composed finish. She sort of just, it's great timing as well with the new flag. Love the new flags, by the way.
Yeah.
Great graphics. And yeah, just sort of slotted it in the bottom corner. And I love an EK celebration. Absolutely love it. So yeah, good from her. And some really good performances all round, I think. Stand out for me. Brazero played really well. O'Brien, I really liked you in the 4. And then when you moved up, I thought Summer had a good game. So that's sort of the youngsters. But yeah, a good game all round from everyone, really. And a good, decent performance. Bit more clinicality would be the sort of cherry on the top, but we'll take it into the next round.
I was hoping at one stage we were going to score from a corner because I don't know, it was Nia taking the corners, of course, and it was Megan Waring, and then I thought she was that's what I want. I want a bullet header from somebody, and Megan Waring's the perfect player to do that.
She will. At some point, Ross, she will. I think she scores quite a bit for the academy, so hopefully it'll come through at some point.
Definitely. Of course, I want to mention another returning player, Zoe Barrett. Good to see her back on the pitch, Lucy. Of course, a player that you're close with as well. Your background with MK Dons and everything. But good to see her get some minutes and make a return from injury as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been difficult for all the injured players. And everyone's kind of just waiting for that first game back. But yeah, it's great to see her back. And I think the main thing is just kind of get minutes in the tank, enjoy it, and then the form will come with that afterwards. But yeah, it's good to see her back on the pitch.
Yeah, I think that's what Joe said in his interview as well, just for players just to enjoy it. Definitely players like Zoe Barrett, just her first few little minutes just to go on that pitch, enjoy it. We've won the game already, we're through to the next round, and I'm sure that's just always the word, just go and enjoy it, when you're returning.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry. I think kind of it's quite easy when you come back to feel a lot of pressure because, especially with all the competition in the positions at the moment, I think everyone's kind of just wanting to play as best they can. But I think certainly kind of getting minutes, ticking off the steps to returning properly, and the form will come after that.
Yeah, now it's like Joe's actually got a lot of options now. He's like, oh, okay, who am I not going to be starting this week? And of course, it's a great problem to have. But now, Blue, I'm sure it's once again great to see Joe's got his options again.
Yeah, I think it's a problem we need to have, to be honest. It's a problem we've missed the sort of first few months of the season. But great to have now, and squad depth is ever growing, which is good to see. But yeah, like you said, enjoying football is, I think there's a correlation between enjoying football and playing well. So if you can enjoy football, I think the form comes very quickly after that. So injured players, it's all about physically being ready, enjoying it, and then the form will come. And hopefully we'll see that from the players who have just returned.
Okay, then. Brilliant. Any other business from the game? Anything I should want to mention, Lucy, from the game? Any insight? Anything that happened randomly in the game? I think it was one of those. It was a good game to watch. I was pretty happy with the performance as a whole. As I said, maybe more clinical with our chances. But anything that was said, any moments that were just where it was just the ball was out of play for a second and someone said something funny. Anything? I'm testing you on memory now because this is Sunday.
Not that comes to mind straight away. I don't think so. Just solid performance, and yeah, it's good that we're in the next round now.
Indeed, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for a nice segue into the draw. So thanks for that, Lucy. That's perfect. And Blue, announced. People already know who we got, but just to sort of build it up, who we got in the third round of the FA Cup.
It's the third round of the FA Cup. Portishead Town at home. A home draw. Yes. Very happy with that. But yeah, thoughts on the draw? Start with you, Lucy.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I was watching it. I was listening to it with my dad. And the teams are coming out, and I was kind of hoping for a big team, but then at the same time, it's quite nice to get through to the next round. So a not so well-known team is always nice, and yeah, I'm happy with the draw, home draw as well, which is great.
What are your thoughts, Ross?
It's at home, and that is just good. I don't care who it is, just home games, always. But yeah, team in the division below, of course, the Southern Western League in the National League, Portishead. So yeah, as I said, home tie always is the winner for me. Of course, we could have got a championship team, which would have been nice, but we can leave that for later on, can't we? We can wait until the quarterfinals again to play one of those. But yeah, do you want to talk about some of the key? Actually, Blue, what's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts. Well, first of all, I'm not familiar with them, so I did a bit of research to see where they were. It's the 8th in the league below, beat Exeter to come through 2-0, which I think was a good result for them. So that I think a team like that will be hard to break down, but one that we're expected to win. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not sure when it's played. It's sometime in December, maybe 11th December, is it? Yeah. But home draw is the main thing. But I'll read through some of the other draws. I think they did have a bit of an issue with announcing pulling out Nottingham Forest twice, which people on Twitter are quite angry about. But we'll move past that. So who have we got? A few of the championship teams pulled at championship teams as well, which is interesting. Means that sort of lower ranked teams are going to get through to that 4th round. Big one, Bristol City, Southampton. That's a big tie. Who else have we got? London City, Portsmouth. Burnley, Norwich. Newcastle have got Wolves. I think that would be a good game. Yeah. And Newcastle at home, so they'll get a big crowd for that, I reckon.
Crowd, yeah. Was it 20,000, I think, in their game against Barnsley? Was it 20,000 next time? Yeah, it's a fair play.
That must be amazing, by the way, to walk out to that many people. Something that I hope we get to experience in the future.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest.
Are you sure not in front of it?
Who knows? This is what the graphic says, subject to change.
Yeah. There we go.
And then, we'll go Crystal Palace versus Watford or Crawley Wasps. I think that'll be a tasty one.
Yeah. Yeah. I just said, there's some championship versus championship sides, a possibility of those getting knocked out early doors, and the chance for us and other teams to, progress is once again to a high round. Quarterfinals last year.
Semis this year, surely.
Semis, yeah.
Well, you have to beat it, don't we, Ross?
Got to. Every year we've got to beat the record. Every year. One day. Walking out at Wembley and all that sort of stuff. Joe Sheehan in a full suit. I like to see it. That's what we want to see. I don't know. I think he'll be a tracksuit manager, I think, at Wembley. I think that's his go-to. With his Umbro hat. Yeah. I
think he'd have to dust off the suit. Off the suit. Get that Umbro cap on. Lovely.
Yeah. I like it. I do like the FA Cup. I know we always say this. We always, Lucy will bring you in here as well. I know we always say this about the FA Cup because we've got our history with it. But it is just a competition I think everyone just likes, even like in men's football, the magic of the FA Cup. But it's a nice little change from league action. But, of course, it's a nice little thing about it. You do get some prize money, so that's always happy. Every day that goes to our budget. But, yeah, the FA Cup's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's really good to play teams that you wouldn't normally play. You look at last year, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to play Newcastle. We wouldn't have had the opportunity to play West Ham. So it gives you kind of a great opportunity to test yourself against other teams in other leagues that ordinarily you wouldn't get to play. And it creates some really special moments as well, which I'm sure kind of players and staff and football clubs will cherish for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just quickly double checking. Yeah, Portishead, they're in Somerset. So I've got a bit of a trip for them to come to the AJ Arena, but I'm sure we'll bring them a nice welcome. But little trip for them, and playing the likes of Portishead and those sort of just like Newcastle. If we had the opportunity to play Newcastle again this year away, it's a long trip, but that'd be another massive crowd, and that'd be amazing. I'm sure. Of course, we want a big crowd at a home game, but to go away from home, all those Geordies on our backs, I'm sure that was a good. You scored in that game, Lucy. That would be great again.
Yeah, and I remember last year, I can't remember how many it was. Was it 3,500? There was that many fans, and you think the amount they've got this year, I think it's 25,000, 28,000. It's so many more fans, almost 10 times as many. And the atmosphere was almost too much for me with 3,000. So it would just be unbelievable to get a fixture like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll beat Portishead and then we can get a big draw in the next round.
Definitely, bring it on. Well, Blue. It is now time for Lucy O'Brien to shine once again. It's 10 questions feature, very popular feature. And now this could be make or break, Lucy, with some of your answers. We shall see. We'll start off with, once again, we always go deep early on just to get out of the way. But what has been the one thing you've had to overcome in football so far? hopefully not other things overcome you, but hopefully you'll just cruise. I'm digging myself a hole here. Yeah, what's the one thing you've had to overcome so far? Stop saying so far.
It would have to be probably when I was younger. When I first kind of started going to England camps, I struggled quite a lot with kind of nerves and anxieties and self-doubt. And I think I've come a long way since then. I don't get as nervous. I still get nervous, but I'm able to control it. And if you'd kind of told me when I was 12, 13 years old, some of the stuff I would have done in the last year, I never would have believed you. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I've had to overcome so far.
That's a big thing, that Blue, like nerves and just anxiety in football. I don't know which players was it. I know like the Huddersfield Man City game. I'm sure all the players were nervous for those because that's when you were. A lot of the players were 17, 18 years old, and definitely playing against Man City. I'm sure the nerves were up there.
Yeah, I think it's a massive thing. I think it's actually one of the biggest performance affectors that you sort of overlook. And we're really lucky to have Jack, who works on that with us if we ever need it. But I think those experiences with England, but also the bigger games we have, they really build a side of you which you don't normally think to develop. It's normally technical, tactical, but actually those skills I think help in football, but also life as well. I think they really sort of move across to life and they change you as a person for the better and make you deal with pressure situations better. So I think they're, although challenging at the time, make you a better person for sure.
Definitely. And this is now a very important question, Blue. Take it away for Lucy to answer.
What is your ideal meal?
I would have to say roast lamb, roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, and a lot of veg. I really, really enjoy veg with the roast dinner, and gravy too, of course.
What veg are we going? And how is the veg cooked as well? Crucial part.
I'll just go bog standard. Go boil it.
No, Lucy.
I know.
Okay, I'll let you choose. I'll let you choose your veg first. Sorry.
I'd have carrots, broccoli, peas, cauliflower, cabbage. I don't like a parsnip. It's not for me.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, my dad, when he cooks dinners, I think 3/4 of the meal is veg. He absolutely adores giving me veg for some reason. And I used to hate it, but recently I've grown quite fond. And now I can't have a roast dinner without veg. So thanks to my dad for making me healthy.
Yes.
Fair enough. See, I'm roasted or roast that veg. That's for. I mean, I don't mind some boiled veg. Obviously, there's some things you can't roast really. Yeah. Peas, for example, but roasted cauliflower and roasted Brussels sprouts, game changer for me.
Mm-hmm. And not for me. Well, you say you don't like parsnips, but roasted parsnips, they're for me.
Bit of honey on top, lovely.
Yes, yeah. Lucy, I don't want to once again rub this in Blue's face, but we had a nice little roast dinner in Plymouth. How was that? Can you remember?
I didn't actually have any. Yeah, I know. I was in the changing room I think I was the last one to leave the changing room because, got showered and everything, and I like to take my time. And then by the time we got up there was no meat left. And I wasn't in the mood to just have potatoes, so I just
veg. Veg. You like a veg now. You could just add all veg.
I could have just had a plate. They had no gravy either, so I think it would have just been a plate of potatoes and vegetables, which I wasn't too keen on.
No.
So the reason you didn't have a roast dinner is because Ross was chopping his face. Okay.
Yeah, I probably had it all. I'm sorry. Priorities and all that. When I heard there was a roast dinner, I was straight there. I just went, move out of the way. Even the Plymouth players, get out of the way. But no, that's gonna be hard to beat. It's gonna be hard to beat, but we'll see for the next games. Question number 3, Lucy: dream holiday, or what is one of your favourite holidays you've done so far?
My favourite holiday so far is seeing my family in Guernsey. On my mum's side of my family live in Guernsey, so we visit them quite often, and I love Guernsey. I think one day I'd like to live there. But yeah, I love visiting them. And then my dream holiday is a bit different, but it's probably, I would love to have a holiday home in the Alps somewhere, a nice kind of a chalet in the mountains. I'd love to go there with my family and have kind of a few weeks skiing there, kind of really enjoying the chalet life. or maybe, to be fair, I was talking with my dad the other day, and I think I'd really enjoy heli skiing in somewhere like Alaska or Canada or something, you know, where you get a helicopter and then you ski off piste. I think that would be an unbelievable holiday.
I have seen videos of you skiing, Lucy, on YouTube.
Yeah, I did one.
Showing.
Yeah, I did one for my GCSE. It was one of the sports I chose, so I had to construct a little video of me skiing.
I like it. Are you more of a cold sort of person? You like to go to cold places more?
Not really. I mean, I like hot and cold holidays both the same. I just think I love skiing so much.
Yeah. What are you getting in Guernsey then? Have you been to Guernsey, Blue?
Never.
Give us a little quick recap of Guernsey. What are you getting?
I mean, it's very small. It's probably half an hour from one end of the island to the other. Lots of beaches, but I think the main thing is just my family. And my mum grew up there. My mum lived there from when she was probably 4 years old to when she was 18. So it's her home. And then it's kind of like a second home. You know, all my family's out there, and we go there kind of once a year. So yeah, I just love visiting. I'm
definitely going to put it on my list. It's definitely a place I've always been interested in, and it's not too far away. I can't speak. Not too far away either, is it?
No. During pre-season, actually, because it was a family holiday, but I missed it because of pre-season, and I hopped on a flight. I think we played Wimbledon on the Saturday. I flew over Sunday morning. It's a 45-minute flight. I got 2 days with my family, and then flew back ready for training on the Tuesday. So it's very easy to just kind of have a weekend over there as well, which is lovely.
Nice. I like it. Up next, Blue.
Which other sport do you enjoy? Now, I know there's a few here.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I played every sport at my school. My PE teacher kind of just put me into everything because I was athletic. But skiing is up there for sport I enjoy doing. And then in terms of sports I enjoy watching, I would honestly watch any sport, I think. Football, tennis, rugby, American football, darts, I'll even watch, F1. If there's sport on the TV, I will probably be watching it.
Lucy is my F1 guru. So when the F1 season's on, if I need to catch up on anything, she's got all the facts, like every fact you could ever think of.
I love it.
Yeah. There's a few of us, actually, F1 club.
There is. You like American football as well, don't you? As well, you know.
Yeah.
I normally hear Kieran at the back because he's got it at front of the coach, red zone on, and he normally, "What are you thinking, OB? You know, what are you thinking?" So, and of course, Joe Sheehan, the manager, he likes it as well. He loves it. They're both at the front watching it, and I think on the coach, Maria Boswell was trying to learn it, EK as well. So they're trying to push over there, but we'll see. It's a sport you really need to really, put some time into it. I've tried, but I think Kieran's failed. I don't mind it, but anyway, going down a road. Oh, we don't need to go down right now. Next question, Lucio. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I'd love to say something quite out there, but I think it would just have to be teleportation. I think the amount of times I've been sat in a car on the way to a football match or on the way to training, and Zoe and I have said to each other how great it would be to just teleport there. I think it would make my life so much easier.
I'm thinking, Blue, as well. I don't know if we should think too much into this question, but like, if you could have this power, like what would be your kryptonite? Like, what would be it? Like, so if you had a teleport, what would be the thing that would stop you to teleport? I'm probably thinking too much, but that's a good thing to think about because you've got to have a bit of kryptonite. You can't just teleport all the time. You need to your power may, lessen through the time. You maybe can only use it a few times a year, a few times a week, whatever, maybe.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think another one that's just popped into my head would be instant food. So like you'd click your fingers and instantly you'd have the food you wanted there.
Yeah.
I mean, I do enjoy cooking, but instant food would also be a good one. I think I'd still choose teleportation though. So come on.
Definitely.
But anyway, we'll move on to the next one. If you were stuck on a desert island with 3 teammates, which would you choose to be with?
This is a difficult question, I think there's probably quite a few that I could quite happily be on a desert island with. And I think there's probably some who wouldn't put up with me for that long, rather than the other way around. I'd say probably Zoe, I think, because we spend so much time together anyway, travelling to and from training. And we have quite a lot of common interests in terms of F1, cricket, football. I feel like we could just talk for hours. So that'd be a great source of entertainment. I think there's quite a few players in the team that would just entertain me for hours on end. I think Biggs, me and her, if she could teach me how to dance, that would be a good way to spend the time. And then, yeah, probably you, Blue, for the intelligent chats that we could have. Fill the time quite nicely, I reckon.
There we go. I'm happy with that, Ross. When called intelligent, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think, yeah, well, I'm sure you'll send her a check, or when you see her in training, you'll give her a check, do a little cheeky fiver, there we go. But no, good choices, very good choices, Lucio. Next question is on what's on your bucket list of things you want to achieve in life and football. Take it away.
I think with regards to football, it's probably just get as far as I can, as high as I can, up kind of the football pyramid. Obviously, WSL would be amazing, playing for a top team. And then, internationally, major tournament. That's the dream, realistically. And then I think in terms of life, I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights. I think that's one thing that would be incredible. I think, space and the night sky fascinates me anyway. So I think seeing the Northern Lights would be incredible. And then I have always wanted to be fluent in another language. I reckon one day I might take night classes or something and really brush up on my French from what I can remember from GCSE. And yeah, maybe one day I'll be fluent in French.
Good answer. Yeah, that's one thing I want to do. I want to be fluent in a language. Like Italian should be what I should be because I've got family. But I'm just, I want to say I'm lazy. I don't get it. I don't know. There's just certain words. I'm like, how do you say that? Like, I don't know. I can say certain words, but it's just put it in a sentence, and I just can't do it. Blue, can you speak any languages, or are you learning?
I wasn't great at languages at school. I mean, I got through it because I had to. But I feel like if you're not surrounded by it every day, it's so hard. But I know you're a big fan of Duolingo, Lucy. How long's the streak? Is it still going?
Spanish I'm doing on Duolingo. I think it's 960 odd days or something.
Oh.
Coming up to 1,000. I started it in lockdown with my brother. He just said to me, he turned around and was like, should we learn Spanish? I was like, yeah, why not? Still going strong.
Yeah, that should have been a lockdown thing, really. I should have done. I think everyone should have. There's one thing in lockdown, you just learn new skill, learn whatever, and maybe a language should have been up there. But yeah, one day, you never know, Blue, I could start this podcast with just in full Italian, and then of course you won't understand what's saying.
I wonder how many takes that would take. Jesus.
Few. Ciao. That's not me ending the podcast because ciao is also bye. We are carrying on with the next question, Blue. So over to you.
So the next one, what is the one item you can't live without?
I had a good old think about this, I think there's quite a few things that my life would be significantly more challenging without it. My car being one. But I think the one item which I take with me everywhere would have to be my water bottle. It's always with me when I'm sitting on the sofa. If I'm in the lounge, it's kind of next to me so I can stay hydrated. I take it up to bed, sit it on the bedside table. So if I'm ever thirsty in the night, it's there. Take it with me to training. I think my water bottle.
Practical. Or if someone said that as well, I think it was Megan Waring, I think. Oh, no, Nicola.
Nicola. There we go.
Yeah. So, because it is, practical. You can, once again, you can put whatever you want right there. If you're watching on video, just had a sip, boom. Keep hydrated as always. I like that because you've got to be practical with one item. So, great. Next question. Is this? I think it's the right one. What is the song you've got on repeat at the moment?
I tell you what, my music taste is very random. I have a bit of everything on there. I'm especially fond of kind of old songs that my mum likes, which is a bit controversial, I think. And my brother will tell you it's probably the thing that drives him mad about me the most, makes him most annoyed. I'll hear a song and I'll really enjoy it and I'll play it for a week or two and then I'll get sick of it and I'll move on to the next one. I won't play it again for months. And it drives my brother crazy. But at the moment, it has to be the Christmas songs. They're coming out. It's a bit early. But yeah, you know what? I'm just really feeling the need to be festive at the moment. So yeah, the Christmas songs have come out.
Now, last week in Plymouth, in the having the food, there was Christmas songs. I was like, this is too early, and I think it is still early. I know it's 28th. Like, I will admit, I have got a Christmas tree out now at home. Not more. I didn't put it up. You know, my missus put it up, so you know, she you know, it was her in charge of her. But I'm not a Grinch, but I'm not that fussed, to be honest. I'm there just for the Christmas dinner, and you know, whatever. But Christmas songs, you know, take it or leave it. Blue, what's your you went you were questioning that?
No, I'm not a Christmas song person, sadly. It's just even when it's close to Christmas, just not a Christmas song person. I don't know why. Maybe
That's
I'm
the
boring. The Grinch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Once again, I like Last Christmas by Wham. That's always put that on. It's always a good classic, and there's other ones out there, of course. Who's because you travel with, you know, you were saying Zoe Barrett to training. Like, who's in charge of the music? You know, has there been any arguments like, oh, what are you playing this for? Why are you playing this Christmas song? It's July.
No, I'll be honest with you. We listen to the radio. We don't put the aux in, but we have been recently. I think it was a week or two ago. Hart hadn't started playing Christmas songs yet, and we were both like, "Where are the Christmas songs?" So, yeah, whenever a Christmas song's on, I think we're both smiling.
Play. And of course, ideally, you're also listening to Track the Girls talk when you're not on, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, that's always up there, of course. Now, Blue, make or break moment now. We've had some interesting answers to this one. Take it away. Let's see.
I'm unsure which way this is going to go, and I know that it's not. It might be a controversial question for you as well, Lucy. But pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I feel very strongly about this, and I have to say, absolutely not.
Love that. Yeah. Tell Blue why she's so wrong for having pineapple on pizza. Take away.
It just shouldn't be on there. It's a fruit. I don't know what the big thing about pineapple on pizza is. It's just not for me.
Do you eat sweet and salty popcorn?
Yeah, but I prefer sweet popcorn on its own.
Can't believe.
That's my point gone.
Yeah. Yeah, but then once again, this question has been controversial since we've brought it on, really, because once again, some people have said, "Oh, you know, I don't mind it, but rather not." Like Pescott went, that's her first choice for topping, which is just unbelievable from her. Unbelievable. I thought she was just doing that just to sound controversial, but
It doesn't shock me actually. It really doesn't.
But I'm proud of you, Lucio. Very proud. Thanks for that. So yeah, that's a great way to end 10 questions with, because Blue, I've got another member of the No Pineapple crew. So I don't know. I think you're still leading. I think you were taking a massive lead, but I've brought it back just a little bit. But I've still got a few more. We have to make a list actually of all the players. I think I started strong, and then you came on the last 4 weeks, and then yeah. But I'm trying to think now, top of my head. I think Nicola was on your team. Trying to think. EK. What's EK say?
Megan was on my team. EK was in the middle, but went with
once again. Yeah, I think Nia Evans. I think she was on my team. I think.
Yeah.
Big up Nia Evans. I think she was the first one actually.
Well, maybe it's closer than we think.
Actually, I think it's only me, Lucio, and now Nia. I think it's only us three. So, but I'm sure we'll grow it back. We'll have loads of different guests on the podcast later, and so we'll find out at the end of the season. We'll see which players are on which team on Pineapple on Pizza. But there we go. Well, to round off the podcast, we're going to have a look back at November as a whole. It's been a bit of a cup month, a lot of cups. Of course, we got knocked out on the 4-0 Cup, first of all, against Hashtag, 2-0 defeat. Then we started the FA Cup journey with a 7-0 win against Luton Town. Then a long trip to Plymouth, back in league action, a 5-0 win there. And of course, London Seaward winning there against them 3-0 in the FA Cup second round. Blue, as a whole, how would you look back at November? Started off not great, but ended with some good wins.
Yeah, so in total, scored 15, conceded only 2, so not a bad ratio. But like you said, it's been a cup month, which I don't mind. I do like a cup every now and then. But yeah, I think we're growing. We've seen improvement, which is good, especially from the start of the month. And hopefully that continues into December. We'll have a bit more cup and hopefully some league action too.
Sorry, it just went off my page. I was looking for a stat. I'm sorry. Bit of silence there. I was just looking for Lucio. Like, was it your first game back against hashtag, or am I got that wrong?
It was my second. I came on against MK Dons the week prior.
Yes, of course you did. But you played against hashtag in November, and of course wasn't a great day. But how would you look back at the month as a whole in terms of, yourself getting minutes again, 2 goals and assist to end the month? I'm sure that's happy for you.
Yeah, I think, it's always hard coming back from injury. I think it's kind of been a month of re-establishing my kind of football, getting back into it, getting some minutes in the tank. And yeah, I think it's kind of been an upwards trajectory. Started off not great, but finishing on a high with a goal and 2 goals and an assist.
Indeed, and I want to give a shout out to some players as well who's had a good month. Anna Gray been scoring goals, getting assists as well. And I'm sure Sarah Quantrill as well been happy with some clean sheets because we was conceding goals to start the season, but the last few games, nice clean sheets, and that's good for the defence. Once again, good to see Megan Waring, the Evans play week in, week out, and everyone just getting minutes, which is good to see, Blue.
Yeah, definitely. I think Boz sprung to mind as well. We haven't really mentioned her, but in her sort of new role, she's done really well. But yeah, I think we're looking good. I think the squad is building, as we said earlier, with injuries coming back, which I think is the main thing, to be honest. And hopefully we'll finish off before Christmas on a high, and then sort of get to the business end of the season.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Boz as well. Yeah, once again, she's been another consistent performer. Of course, she scored against Luton, of course, and it's good that we've been able to spread the goals about. And Lucy, yes, it's a good thing for us as well, not just relying on a few players. Everyone's sort of scoring, and now you're adding goals to your game as well. You were before, but for you to come back into the team and score 2 goals, EK with her first goal, I'm sure for the whole squad, it's just good everyone's sort of chipping in different positions.
Yeah, definitely. And I think our formation, the way we play kind of allows that. It's quite similar to the men, and you see a lot of goals come from different positions with the men as well. And yeah, I think the position allows different players to get forwards, different players to kind of be in and around the box. And it's really good for the strikers as well to not have the pressure of having to score, but knowing that goals can come from other positions as well.
Definitely. Oh, Blue. Any other business? Anything else we should mention that we've not mentioned? Of course, we've got a busy end to the season, of course, or end of the year. It's mad to think 2022 is nearly done already, which is just crazy. Scary. But yeah, any other business?
I don't think so. Anything from you, Lucy, before I round off?
No, I don't think so.
Right,
well,
perfect.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lucy, for joining us. You've been a great guest, as usual. Ross, thanks again for your time. Thanks to you listeners for listening along to us. I hope you've got to this point because it's been quite a long pod. But yeah, once again, a massive thanks to all of you who came to Felixstowe, even in the weather and maybe a double header. But it's great to see the support. I know you laughed at that, Ross. Yeah, it's good, wasn't it? Off the cuff.
Yeah.
But we'll catch you again. And once again, thanks for listening.